Hello and welcome back to Lord Fenton Gaming Plays Baldur's Gate 3. I'm your host Lord Fenton. In this Baldur's Gate 3 build video, we're doing a Pure Bard College of Sword hand crossbow build. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more Baldur's Gate 3 builds like this. Do not forget to hit notification bell so we update and much more. Advantages and disadvantages of this build as follows. You'll be able to do multiple attacks. Yeah, your hand crossbow plus bardic inspirations, weapon skills are really useful. Your talking skills are going to get you through many things. Another thing is you have a nice selection of spells, especially the healing ones, and you can crowd control. Disadvantages is your bard selection of spells are met at the best. Another thing is you run out of bardic inspiration, you're kind of screwed. So let's go ahead and definitely do the character creation process. I'm going to go ahead and go over the races, but before I do this, I always talk about, what about your origin characters? I'm going to be very blunt. Unless you don't like Will as a warlock, he's a perfect candidate for actually being this type of build, the bard. If you want to go that route, which is kind of funny. Another thing is I'll definitely say to everyone is also the Dark Urge story. You can become any class, that is good. And the hireling you do have, that's very nice as well. So let's go to the races, shall we? And we're going to go ahead and do the Elven race since they are really nice for this build. They have 9 movement per turn. That's very nice. We need some mobility. Number 1. Now, number 2 is Elven weapon train. Yeah, you get the short bow and long bow. We're not going to care about that until we get the crossbows, of course. Good news is dark vision. They can see up to 12 meters in the dark. That is really useful, especially in dark and dark places. Fey ancestry, you have advantages on saving throws against being charmed and cannot be magically put to sleep. That's 2 anti-crowd control things we have already in our toolkit. And if you're a wood elf, Fleetfoot's 1.5 meters. I'm not doing the high elf because we're more of a range type attacker for this build. Next up are the tieflings. They have 9 meters per turn, which is nice. Dark vision up to 12 meters. We can see in the dark, just like our elven friends. Hellish resistance. You only take half fire damage and half fire resistance. That's really good. Now, I'm always tiefling. They have produce flame and darkness. In other words, darkness is another crowd control type of deal. Zariel, they have this for talking skills, like, for example, intimidation and performance. And they have the smite. You can use some of the smites in range. Now, this one here, the drow, they have dancing light. They also have darkness too. That's the reason why we take this race for one of them. Number 1, they have 9 meters base racial speed, which is good. Now, this is the race that use hand crossbows. However, we're going to pick a certain feat that will give us that too. They have superior dark vision. They can see up to 24 meters in the dark. And just like the elves, they have advantages on save throws against being charmed and cannot be magically put to sleep. Again, 2 anti-crowd control things in our graphs. Now, these 2 sub-races for the drow are just there for story reasons, so pick your favorite. Now, for humans, 9 meters per turn, that is real good for movement speed. They're civil militia, it's alright on that one. And last but not least, human versatility. We get an extra skill point. Bards get some nice skill points and such like that, but we get 1 extra to pick from. So let me go ahead and demonstrate right now. So we'll pick an entertainer. We'll do that later on. Besides deception, intimidation, performance, and persuasion, that's important. Those are the 4 there. You could either pick acrobatics if you don't have that, or sleight of hands or stealth. Those are good, or even athletics if you want to. So that's the human race there. Nice advantage. Githyanki, underdog race, astral knowledge. That means you gain proficiencies and skills of a chosen ability. That is real good, though. Well, it's once per long rest, but it's nice. Githyanki gains, of course, mage hands, and later on, misty step. Also nice jump, too. They have a base racial move of 9 meters and martial prodigy. We're not going to care about the martial one, but still, those are good. Now, we're going to go ahead and choose our dwarven race next. They have 7.5 movement speed, less than the big races, but that's alright. They can use hammers and axes. Dark vision is 12 meters, so they could see in the dark, unlike the Githyanki and humans. And they have resistance on saving throws and resistance against poison damage, so that's good starting out. Gold dwarfs, they have more hit points, so we have good, decent hit points with this build. This is good enough there. Now, I did decide to pick the gray dwarfs because they have superior dark vision, which is 23 meters, which is good. And they have also resist against being charmed or paralyzed. Also, later on, they gain the invisibility spell to abuse. They didn't list it, but don't worry, they do have it. Half elves, 9 meters movement speed. That is good, just like their elven side. They have their human size civil militia, so that's a bit meh. I wish they had the skill, but that's alright. Dark vision, they can see up to 12 meters in the dark. That's good. And as their Evans side, I should say they have resistance against charm, advantage against those, and they cannot be magically put to sleep. Again, 2 anti-crowd control things in our toolkit. Wood Elf, you pick that, the half one, you get 1.5 meter movement, or Drow, you get their spells. Up to you on which one you want the most. Halflings, they're really good for this race. 7.5 meters movement speed, that's alright, that's fine. Now, here's the best part I like about them. Lucky, so if you roll 1 on the following attack rolls, ability check, or saving throws, you get to do a reroll. No more 1s ever again for those. Brave, they have advantage in saving throws against being frightened, so it's another anti-crowd control thing. All halfling races are good, so you pick Lightfoot, you have natural advantage on stealth checks if you want to go that route. Or you have saving throws against being poisoned and poison damage, which is nice at the start of the game. So yeah, halflings are a good choice. Gnomes, they have 7.5 movement speed per turn. Now here's the deal, they have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. We need that for intelligence, a little bit for the wisdom. Charisma, we got plenty on that, because we're going to stop at 16. Rock gnomes, they could see 12 meters in the dark, and they have a proficiency check on history, which is good. If you go the forest route, you get speak with animals, and they have 12 meters dark vision, which is nice. You go deep gnomes, they got 24 meters in the dark they see, just like the drow and the grey dwarfs. They're an underdark race. Stone camouflage have advantages on stealth checks. If you want to pop in and out with this build, that's fine as well. Now, last of not least, I like to go ahead and say is, like I say, either the gnomes, halflings are good, elves, or humans. Those are the best ones I feel for this race. Now, for your attacks, you could do 2 per round or anything else. That's Bardic Inspiration. You get 5 of those, if I remember right, during the course of the game. It gets charged up later on by short rest and long rest, so that's good. Their spell selection are limited, so you got to be careful on selecting your spells when you're leveling up. So I'm going to go ahead and explain every one of them next. We're going to talk about the level 0 spells, so let me get rid of that. This one's Vicious Mockery. It does 1 to 4 psychic damage. However, it gives a creature disadvantage on the next attack rolls. It's a level 0 spell. You can pop that. You have trouble against certain foes, and that's it. Blade Ward, you only take half damage from blunt, piercing, and slashing. That's nice. Mage Hand, if you want to move a body or something's out of the way, you want to get to you, that's good. True Strike, the next time attacker, say you should have advantage on that. Friends, this will give you charisma check boost when you're using conversation and such. You can use it while science too. Higher difficulty, be careful go because people may accuse you of being an enchanter. Mess with their minds. Dancing Light, this creates a nice illuminating area, trolling the rogues. Light Spell, cast on someone or object. It's like a bright light, really useful in certain area in Act 2 only. Minor Illusions, it creates a copy you so folks could attack it. I say take the Vicious Mockery and the Blade Ward's the best bet. Now let's go over the level 1 spells. Your selections are limited, so you gotta remember that. Animal Friendship, convince a creature not to attack you. On higher difficulty, they'll resume attacking. A decent crowd control spells against animals. Bane, up to 3 targets will be 1d4 penalties to attack rolls and saving throws. That's a good debuff spell. Charm, so this will ignore a foe from attacking you. We have a Mind Flare power that does that exactly, so skip it. Cure Wounds, close touch range healing, 4 to 11 hit points you get healed, really good. Disguise Self, this is just really used to abuse the Speak with Dead in case you kill someone, so this way you talk to them. Disconnect Whispers, it does 3 to 18 damage. And a creature at disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, which is good. Fairy Fire, so anybody hits with it, all targets will be visible. And you have attack roll advantage against the targets, great against anti-stealth. Fairy Fall, you're immune to falling damage. There's a scroll or potion that does that as well, so don't do that. Healing Ward heals 4 to 7 less than the other healing one, but you could go a longer distance, which is good. No touch stuff. Heroism gets rid of Frighten, and you gain 5 temporary hit points, which is good. Long Stride, this will give you 3 movement speed, which is not bad. Sleep, up to 24 hit types. One opponent or a whole bunch that controls that will be put to sleep for 2 rounds until they get attacked. Speak with Animals, use the potion for that. Seriously, that's it. And this one's a good one. The Hideous Laughter, this is like a crowd control type of spell. Targets must try to shake off the laughter each time, which is very funny. So this would put them in prone status. They'll laugh, you'll attack them. Good crowd control spell. Now, a nice alternative for level 1 if you want to go a little bit more damage is Thunder Wave. 2 to 16 damage. Anyone who's in the way of that will get pushed. Save and throw, they take half. Take both of the healing spells because you're going to be using that big time. Take the laughter one, so this way it's a crowd control. Another one is definitely take Fairy Fire, so you expose certain foes. And it's actually been used for 1 or 2 encounters early on. Now, instruments, I'm going to suggest loot. That's the best way, but pick your preference. Background, we're only going to pick one entertainer because it has acrobats and performance. That's all you need for that. We'll get the talking skills in a bit. Now we're going to go ahead and pick our ability scores. We'll put dexterity at 2 since it's a dex focus build, and charisma 1. So I'll go over each and every one. Strength at 10, we'll keep it average, which is good. So we'll keep it there. We'll use a potion for the 12. Dexterity, we're going to do 16. We're going to get that to 20 by the time this build is over with. So it's a good thing. We'll get 22 dexterity with the mirror loss as well. Now let's go ahead and select Constitution. We'll put it at 14, give us a little bit more hit points, which is a nice thing. Another thing we're going to do is Intelligence. What we're going to do is at 8. So that's going to be our weak spot there, folks. Yeah, every build has a weak spot. Wisdom, we're going to keep at 10 average so we can pass some story checks as around that area. Last but not least, Charisma at 16. We're going to use 2 things in order to get that to 18, but still, that's pretty good for this build. We'll start at 16. Our talking skills are going to be real high as we level up, so it's a good thing. Now, next up for skills is, besides acrobats, deception, intimidation, performance, and persuasion. Those are the 5 you want. Now, if you're human, sleight of hands, or stealth, go for that. Yeah, those will be really useful, or perception if you want to really go that far as well as a human. So pick the skills I pick in your set. Now we're going to go ahead and level up our characters. Yep, you guessed it, 2 to 12. So let's go over some things. And once again, Bardic Inspiration is used for your attacks, and that's 5. Your short rest or long rest. So let's do this. We ourselves a spell slot, another level 1. Jack of Trades, what that is, they use your half of your proficiencies round down on ones that you're not proficient with to get a bonus on that. Song Rest, you and your allies are revived through as if you're doing a short rest. This is good, so you don't have to use one of your short rests. We get a free short rest, in other words. The spell we're going to pick is, let's see here, what is this one? Distant Whispers. This way we can hinder our foes' ability checks and attacks. That's what we want. Ding, level 3. Yeah, it's forced us into College of Lore. I'm going to change that. Let me do that now. Okay, so we get some more spell slots and level 2 spells, which is good. See, yeah, we select the College of Swords, see level 1 2 spell slots, and we're going to keep Deception and Performance. We'll put that there real high at 7. We'll boost those up big time as we go through the game. If we want to, we can do Intimidation, but I like Deception and Performance the best. This is what we get. Slashing first, we get to attack up to 2 enemies at once. In other words, this is why this build's important. That's defensive 1. We attack 1 foe. We gain 4 armor class 4 in case we need that for a turn. Now, that's the one again, armor class. And let's go ahead and do this one. Mobile first. We attack the foe. You're melee or ranged, then we teleport to him. That's great for melee. But good for ranged closing the gap. But slashing flourish, we're going to use that quite a bit for the build since it's 2 attacks. Alright, folks, let's go ahead and do this. Blindness, we blind a creature. Attack rolls, we have advantage against. They have disadvantage against us on attacking. Calm motion, we cannot be charmed or frightened. This is also used to calm down foes who are enraged. Anti-barbarian spell, that's why I like to select it. Cloud daggers is a nice alternative spell. Drop it down. Any foes get hit with is 4 to 16 damage. No negotiation on damage is concentration, but it's good. Now, this will, of course, make creatures attack others, including their allies. Detect thoughts. Use the potion to detect thoughts. That's the best way to go. Enhance ability. Gain advantages on ability checks. You get 2 dices. Have a cleric or druid do that. Let them do that part. Now, enthrall. When you do that, reduces the creature's visions, and it's make you look at you like they're hypnotized. Heat melt, this is a good alternative. Heat melts of foes. They have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. They have to make another save throw to drop their weapon, so it's a good one. This one's a great one. Whole person. This will hold a humanoid into place. If they're held, any attacks against them will be critical hits. It's a concentration spell, but it's worth it. Seriously, it's really worth it. That's what I probably would select. Invisibility, just like the invisibility potion, you do anything except for moving, you go uninvisible. Knock, you open up doors that are not magically sealed, including chests. Let your mage do that. Lesser restoration cures the following: diseases, poisons, paralysis, and blindness. That's not bad to use. Next up is Phantasmal Force. Does the 1 to 6 damage, which is good. On this, another one, Sea of Visibility. You see invisibility. There's a Sea of Visibility potion or a certain thing. You get that for free. Shatter does 3 to 24 damage. Creatures hit with this have a disadvantage, like for example stone and such, and can break walls. Silence, you drop down silence. Foes will get silenced in the spear. Bad news is they'll move around past it. I'm going to say is definitely go for, let me see, where is it at? I'm just trying to look. Oh yeah, we're going to do whole person or common emotions. Those are the best two I felt. Let's grab whole person. This way we get bonus against them. I picked 2 weapon fighting because one reason is, yeah, we'll make our attacks with our weapons and our hand stuff in case we have to or forced to. Dueling's just one hand, but I like 2 weapon fighting. Now that you can select your spells in and out just like a sorcerer and ranger. Ding, level 4 everyone, so let's keep on going on this. Let's see here. Okay, we get ourselves another level 0 spell, pick Friendship. You're going to be needing that big time, give you advantages on talking skills. Just remember, on higher difficulties, they'll accuse you of being a enchantress or enchanter. Try and enchant them instead, so be careful on that. As for spells, I'm going to go do his Common Motions. I felt like that's the best one. So this way we could get rid of the Enrage on barbarians. We also cure Charmed and Frightened on theirs if we see our paladin running away or something like that. Now we're going to pick his Sharpshooter. This is what happens. Ranged weapons are proficient with, you're proficient with all of them. You have -5 attack rolls. There's I will cure that. However, we do 10 additional damage. So attack 10 to your damage. Now we have for high ground rules, that does not apply to us anymore, which is good. That's Sting level 5, and high ground rules is, in other words, is we don't have disadvantage for attacking someone high ground, by the way. And we get ourselves another inspirational point, level 3 spell slot. Font Inspiration, you regain all your bardic inspiration after a long rest or short rest. And yeah, bardic inspiration is when we decide to use that as a buffer for everybody else. It will be 1d8 for advantages. Let's talk about the level 3 spells. Bestow Curse, when you hit on a foe, they have disadvantages checks on saving throws and more, which is not bad. Fear, we make our foes fearful, they'll run away. They have disadvantages on ability checks and attack rolls. Feign Death, this will protect someone. They become resistant to all damage types except for psychotic, which is decent. Life of Warding, we drop this down, and what happens is when they step in it, they take damage or they get crowd control. Hypnotic Pattern, this will create a crowd control spell type of deal, which is alright. Plant Growth, drop it down. Any foes moving towards you will be quarter their speed, which is good. Speak with the Dead, use the necklace or scrolls to speak with the dead. Don't pick it as a spell. Sticking Cloud, this will make foes nauseous and prevent from taking action, which is not bad. I'm going to say Plant Growth, this way we drop it down and quarter their movements if we need to. Ding, level 6. And we, oh wow, we gain a few things. Number 1, let's see here. Another spell slot for level 3. That's good. Counter Charm, so you and your allies within 9 meters have advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. So this is a good thing. Lost around the bard. Now we gain an extra attack, either melee or range. This is really useful. Instead of 1 per round, we get 2. A little bit slow on that, but that's alright. As for spells, we're going to pick is the ward one because I felt like we drop on the ground. It's a trap, and the enemies will get hindered. And we can change our spells in and out if we want to. Let's level up to 7. So there we go. We get ourselves now Circle 4 spells, or level 4 for those who are playing this game. Yeah, it's an ultimate joke with the circles. Let's go over to the level 4 spells, shall we? Now, Confusion. Confuse a group of creatures, causing them to attack at random, including themselves. Decent crowd control. Now, this next one I like to use. Dimension Door. You and one ally will be teleported somewhere else. Very useful mobility spell. Freedom of movement, so this will cure stun, difficult terrain, and we cannot be paralyzed or restrained. So this is a nice spell. Great visibility, so it's like invisibility, but as long as you keep your concentration, you get attacked while still being invisible, which is good. Polymorph, nice spell to turn a foe into a sheep to crowd control against. So what we're going to do is greater invisibility. We have to concentrate, but this is a nice opener in case we don't want to be attacked and let our paladin or fire be the one. Now, level 8, this is where we're at, folks. We're getting there. We get every level 4, we get a free feat. I'm going to pick Dimension Door, so this way I can teleport me and one ally around somewhere. We get the high ground or something like that. Now, feat, we're going to improve our ability to dexterity. We'll get dexterity to 20 with this build, so we'll focus on that. Usually it's charisma with bards, but since we're using dual crossbows, we're going to boost up our damage some more since we need that. Dang, level 9, so we're closing on the level 12 cap, so after this level will be 3. And we get ourselves some spell slots, including level 5. And we get to place our spells as always. So let's go over level 5 spells. Dominate person, this will dominate a person. So in other words, they won't attack you or so. And here's the deal, it's alright. Great Restoration, it cures the following charm, petrification, stun, and curses. Hold monster, paralyze a creature. It's a concentration spell, however, if it holds that creature, whoever attacks it, any form, then you get, of course, critical. It's always mass cure wounds, that's 6 to 28. To everybody, it's a nice healing spell. Planar binding, target a celestial, elemental, fey or so to fight for you, which is alright. Seething, everybody gets disguise. I won't pick that. Pick, of course, hold monster. I felt like that's the best way to go for this build. So this way, you hold a monster. If it works, you get critical hits against them. Ding, level 10. And yeah, hold monster is used for a few encounters. Okay, let me move that out of the way. First, we get a level 5 spell slot. And of course, our improved barding inspiration, buffing our allies, is 1d10 instead of 1d8. So let's go ahead and pick our points. We're going to do is intimidation and persuasion to get a bonus on that. Yeah, see, it gets up there real high. Let's do this. Let's select that. And of course, let's see here. We get a level 0 spell. I'm going to say your mage hands. That's a good choice. True strike is nice. One of those two are good. So select that. Or some people select dancing light. I'm going to go ahead and select mage hands. So this way, I want to move some stuff out of the way or so. I'm going to select at this point is mass cure wounds. Will heal. Help our cleric or druid to heal if we need to. Magical secrets, I'm just going to go ahead and select the which ones. Number 1, I'm going to select is Conjure Elemental level 5 spell, so we have a pet on our side, and Cone of Cold, which is a frontal damage, which is nice. We could select Ice Storm, that's a good alternative. Haste is real nice, it's concentration, but that's good. Cold and Lightning is good as well, same as Fireball, but Cone of Cold and Conjure Elemental is the way to go in my mind. So let's keep on going. Ding, level 11. So we're getting closer to the cap, folks. And we get ourselves another spell selection. Let's go over those. There's only 2. Eye Bite, your eyes become blackened and well. In other words, is yeah, it puts the creature to sleep. It's alright sleeping spell, but there's better ways to crowd control. Now this one is makes them unable to take action. You have advantage on attack rolls against them, so we're going to select that one. That's going to be the only level 6 spell we'll select. Ding, level 12, and yeah, only level select because I'd rather select another level 5 spell because there's another good one there. So let's go ahead and get that. Instead of Eye Bite, I would go for Greater Restoration, so this way we could do some major curing if we need to. As for feats, every level 4 we get a feat, ability improvement. We'll get to Dexterity at 20, and Dex is now at 20. And that's about it for leveling up 2 to 12. For the next part of this build video is permanent ability score boosters. So let's get to that now. Here are the permanent ability score boosters. There are 1 in each act, so let's talk about Act 1's. If you decide to spare Auntie Ethel for your first encounter against her, she'll definitely do is give you a choice of ability items to boost up that said ability score. In other words, you gotta make sure she's under 10 hit points, then you get that choice. I'm gonna go and say this now. You want to do this with this build because you want +1 charisma. Helps out greatly. Now, here's another one. This is in Act 2. You're gonna need a Steron for this. With the Steron, have him buy Araja in the Moonrise Towers in Act 2. She is the NPC that also sells some great potions. and some great endgame items. So no Asteron, no strength +2 strength potion. I definitely advise you going for the strength +2. If you feel that someone else is better using it, like for example Lizelle or Karlach, yeah, have them drink the potion instead. Last but not least is the mirror loss. So here's how the mirror loss works. You have to get past 2 different intelligence checks, either religion or arcana. Once you do that, there'll be 7 choices, 1 for each stat to take a -2 hit on. By the way, it's curable the hit by via remove curse or greater restoration. Now, if you take number 7, which is deception, you get nothing, nada. Shark can see through your BS on that. So once you get the loss happening 1 through 6, then there are 3 outcomes with this, depending on a hidden charisma check. Now, if you totally pass the charisma checks, you get +1 charisma and +2 stat of your choice. You want to aim for the +1 charisma because that's going to be part of this build. And +2 stat your choice, go for dexterity. Yeah, I know, this is a bard class, but with ranged weapons, dexterity helps out greatly with that. So that's why we're picking dexterity. Now, another choice is you don't get the charisma +1, you get only the +2 stat your choice, pick dexterity. Last but not least, you get nothing. It happens from time to time. So you better start using autosaves, or I should say quick saves in between conversations. Unless you're in honor difficulty, then you're screwed. So let's talk about the +2 strength potion in Act 2. So our friendly drow friend here get bitten by a Asteron. Yeah, you got to have a Asteron in your party. Once you go ahead and convince the Asteron to do it, you get disapproval, but he'll bite her. Then you, of course, get your racial potion that you gave blood to, and you get the potion of everlasting vigor. So when you do that, you automatically get a permanent +2 strength. You don't lose that at all. It's permanently yours. So we're going to go ahead and boost our paladin, for instance, from 18 to 20. This is just a demonstration. And voila, it's at 20. So let's move on to the mirror loss. So we're at the mirror loss in Act 3. You know it when you see it. So here's the 1 through 6 bonuses you do get after getting past the checks and taking your loss, which is curable by way of remove curse or greater restoration. So number 1 is +2 strength. Yep, that's right, +2 strength. Number 2 is +2 dexterity. For this build, we're using it like crazy. Number 3 is +2 constitution. Number 4 is +2 intelligence. Number 5 is +2 wisdom. And number 6 is +2 charisma. Now, as I said before, you keep the plus. If you didn't hear, yeah, you do keep the pluses. The minuses are curable. Yeah, we'll take a 1 up on Char on that. So I'll definitely pick the dexterity. My paladin is picking the charisma, but still, this build, go for dexterity. Once you're done, cure yourself of the negative. Usually negative, I'd probably say take a wisdom hit, strength hit, or a constitution hit. That's curable. So let's go for the before and after. It is now time to go over the before and after. So for the before, the permanent stat boost is as if you didn't use any of the stat items, and you're at level 12. Here we go. 10 strength, 20 dexterity, 14 constitution, 8 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 16 charisma. Now this is after of all that. 12 strength, 22 dexterity, 14 constitution, 8 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 18 charisma. Yeah, we're doing the Auntie Ethel and a mirror loss type of combo. So that's about it for the permanent stat boosts. For the next part of this build video, what we're going to do is you guessed it, the Tadpole Powers. I decided to split this into 2 categories, before and after the Astral Touch Tadpole being used. So let's start with the before. This is for you decide to consume that Astral Tadpole. Favorable beginnings, boosts attack rolls, or gives you advantage in dialogues. For this build, you're going to really use both. They're really helpful. Charm prevents a foe attacking you for 1 turn, so a foe comes towards you buzzing, stops, and then of course you hit Charm. Next time they'll go to someone else. Really useful crowd control. Shield of Thralls, make a shield on yourself or your allies. That's 10 hit points. When those 10 hit point shield goes, any foes around that person get stunned. Another crowd control thing we'll use. Sonic Backlash, when a foe casts a spell, you do 1d4 damage per caster level. Real useful against annoying casters. Drain ability, attack can either drain strength or dex at the first attack. Since we're using dex, we're going to abuse this like crazy with our ranged weapon. So let's go for the after. Here is the after Black Hole. This is an OP AoE attack. 5 charges for long rest. This is one devastating I should say late game spell. Use it, you wipe out many foes with it. As for the next spell, fly, gain ability to fly. Just like the fly spell, you move around, nice mobility spell. Repulsor, AoE pushback damage attack. So this does as many foes come surrounding you, push them back, then you shoot them from range once again. Free cast, next ability, spells, or anything else is free of charge to use. So you want to use hold monster, but don't want to spend a spell slot. Free cast, hold monster, and you're set. Illicit expertise, you have deep sense of yourself. This is what happens. You gain the following in expertise from this point on: persuasion, deception, and intimidation checks. You'll be more proficient with talking skills. You really want this one. That's about it for Tadpole Powers. Let's go ahead and talk about Gear of Ice. I did was split this into two categories. By the end of Act 1, aka before entering the Shadow Cursed Lands to get the gear. And of course, endgame gear. Please note, I'm focusing on mainly hand crossbows for the ranged weapons. So let's start with by the end of Act 1. Here's some gear you want by the end of Act 1. Let's start with the headgear. The haste helm gains momentum for 3 rounds. So that's 1.5 movement speed per round. In other words, it'll move around nicely with that. It's automatic, so it's a great starter for combat. Lock chest in a Blighted Village in Act 1. Just Jimmy the lock and that's it. Here's a good alternative, Cap of Curing. When you inspire an ally using Bardic Inspiration, they also regain 1d6 hit points. Not only you boost their abilities and such up, well, guess what? They get some hit points out of it. Just by Alfreria, the singing bard just outside the Druid Goat in Act 1. It's in the chest. You could just go ahead and pick the lock and get it. She won't mind at all. And, oh yeah, here's a tip. She also will teach you the entertainment skill if you did not have it. Now, on to the chest gear. Adamantite Scale Mail, 16 AC, medium armor. I'm mentioning that for this build. All incoming damage is reduced by 1. Really good. Cannot be critical hit upon. That is great. Now, when a melee attack hits you, the attacker is sent really for 2 turns. In other words, again, -1 attack, which is nice, by the way. At the Adamantite Fortune and Underdark 2, which we call the Grim Fortune Act 1. You're going to have to use the ore plus the scale mail molds for it. You'll have to defeat Grim in order to finish the process. Now, next up the bat, this is another alternative, more bard-like I should say. Blazer of Benevolence. When you inspire an ally using Bardic Inspiration, you yourself gain 4 temporary hit points. Couple of that with the cap. Yeah, they get 1d6 hit points. You get 4 temporary hit points, which is good. Reward for saving Volosari Ars in the Shattered Sanctum in Act 1. Yeah, you're going to have to save him in order to get this. I wish I had that goblin kill him, but it is what it is. Still, it's a nice reward. Let's move on. Here are some gloves. One of them I do advise heavily getting. It's this first one. Gloves of Dexterity. Your dexterity is set to 18. So no matter what, your dexterity is 10. Now it's 18. I'm just saying. Very good for this build. I'm going to say it's really useful until you get to level 8. And the bonus +1 attack is good as well. Now, this is at the Githyanki Creche in the Mountain Pass. And Merchant Jira, I cannot pronounce her first name, but still, she sells a whole bunch of things in that act. So play it cool there. Talk your way through in. Once you do that, then what happens is just buy everything from her, and then that's about it. You could kill her later on if you want to. Now, here's a nice alternative. This one is actually really good. Wondrous Gloves. Your armor class increases by 1. In addition, if you have Bardic Inspiration, you gain 1 more use of it. Now, this is really nice. The AC +1 is a bonus. One of the mimics dropped this in the Underdark 2, aka Grimforge Zone in Act 1. Yeah, those mimics are the chests that try to eat you. There's 3 of them. One of them should drop it. Let's get to the next set of equipment. Now, here are some boots. Disintegrating Nightwalkers cannot be enweb, entangle, or ensnare. And also cannot slip on grease or ice. That's a bonus, 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 and oh yeah, bonus on all 5 of those. Also, yeah, 6 bonus. I forgot to mention this. You gain the spell Misty Step. Just like the spell, you teleport somewhere. Good to get to the higher ground. True Soul Near drops this in the Grimforge Underdark 2 area in Act 1. Yeah, you don't have to kill the fool. You're going to have to try to play nice with them. Hopefully you'll be able to pickpocket this. I'm just saying. You could try, but either way, you got to kill them for the boots. Now here's alternative boots of Genile Striding. The wearer's movement speed is unimpelled by difficult terrain. Now that is really nice though. It's not better than the other one, but this is still good. Sold by Blug at the Mitochondrial Colony in Underdark in Act 1. He sells a lot of good by the end of Act 1 gear and possibly endgame gear. Clean out his inventory of magical items. I'm just saying. Now for the necklaces. Moondrop Pendant. When the wearer has 50% hit points or less, they don't provoke attacks of opportunity. Now this is real great in case you want to get away from a certain fighter that wants to kill you. Your hit points drop 50% less. You can move away without, of course, that set fire attacking you. Solve the Slough Knight magic chest puzzle in the Owlbear Cave in Act 1. Make sure you leave Shadowheart at the entrance of the cave, then you can solve the puzzle by finding the prayer sheet and to get this nice necklace. Now here's alternative Amulet of Misty Step. Gain Misty Step just like the spell, another use. So you couple it with the boots, you have two uses of it. In the Shatter Sanctum at True Soul's Gut quarters in Act 1. There's ways to get in without stealing key or killing True Soul Gut for it. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of ways. It's easy to get to. So let's move on. Now, the rings are more in line to my, I should say, fire / paladin / barbarian build. However, these are good for this as well. Crusher Band, movement speed is increased by +3 meters. That's really useful. You're going to need some movement definitely for this. Steal or loot Crusher to get this ring in the Goblin Camp in Act 1. You're playing absolutely friendly with the goblins or siding with them. Stealing is the best method. Use the Steron to pull that off. Caustic Band, you deal +2 acid damage to foes. Deirdre's Bone Cloak sells this at Mitochondrial Colony Underdark in Act 1. She sells a whole bunch of things, and I'll tell you later on what she sells too. Now, let's go ahead and do the alternative rings in case you can't get one or the other, or you want to use these instead. Ring of Absolute Force, use of Thunderwave spell. That's just like the spell. I think it's 6 to 12 damage, AoE, and such. If it's Absolute branded, tack 1 extra damage to it. Sergeant Thrin in the Grimforge Underdark 2 in Act 1 actually will give this to you. Or you could kill him for it. Either way, I think they more like you get this as a drop. The Sparks Wall cannot be electrocuted. Electric resistance is also increased as well. Arcane Tower Basement Underdark in Act 1. Raid that tower. There's some great things for everybody in your party who needs it. Let's do some dual wielding weapons. Now, please note these are just used for stats really, or if you need to, go ahead, dual wield. Knife of the Undermountain King. This is a short sword +2. Wield scores a critical hit when rolling a 19. When they roll 2 or less, they roll the dice, taking the highest results. That's just like Savage Attacker. Now, and you also have advantage on attack rolls against lightly or heavy obscure targets when using this blade. So that's a nice option. You want to go that route. Now, Merchant Jera in the Mountain Pass Githyanki Crash sells this in Act 1. Yeah, clean out her inventory before killing her. Hunter's Dagger +1 dagger on hit. The target must succeed a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or become ruptured. Rogue Moonglow in the Shatter Sanctum in Act 1 sells this. If you can find the little fellow, yeah, just raid this person's inventory. I'm going to give some alternatives for dual wielding weapons, and here we go. Here's some good alternative dual wielding weapons. Short Sword of First Blood deals additional 1 to 8 piercing dances to targets that still have all their hit points. So if you want to close in melee, or you have to in the first round in case you miss, yeah, that's the way to go. Around the Underdark Beach and Underdark area in Act 1, it's in a few spots there. That's the beach that there's a boat that takes you to Underdark 2, which is the Grimforge. Now, you go for a dagger +1 or a short sword +1. Now, there is a bardic longsword. I did not put it for the weapon because if you're a small race like a gnome or halfling, it's going to be treated like a two-handed weapon. That's my main reason why I didn't do that. So, let's go ahead and get to the hand crossbows. Now, please note, I am focusing on hand crossbows in this build. If you cannot find any, then settle for a long or short bow, especially one with a +1 enchantment for now. Ranged weapons, hand crossbow +1. Yep, that's what it is, a +1 enchantment to it. Sold by Ear Damien. Low rate, and of course you have to do a long rest in order to go ahead and change his stock. This is at the Druid's Grove in Act 1, or if you decide to go to Deirdre's Bone Cloak in the Mitochondrial Colony in Underdark in Act 1, she sells this as well. She has a better drop weight of selling this than, of course, Damien. But still, try for Damien. See the crossbow, buy it. And if you're really lucky, go ahead and see if she has that one too, and then buy 2, total 2, which is good. Offhand, Fire Stoker. Deals an additional 1d4 slashing damage to burning targets. So if Gale sets someone on fire or Shadowheart in your light domain, you're going to do 1d4 extra damage. Now this is in the Grimforge Underdark 2 in a dormitory room where the Hellboards are acting Act 1. It's in a chest there, so definitely raid that chest. That's about it for gear you want by the end of Act 1, so let's go ahead and talk about endgame gear. Now, please note for endgame gear, if it says a certain location, and of course act, make sure you do not leave said location, and act until you get the items. So, I'm going to go ahead and start with the headgear. Mask of Soul Perception. You gain the following: +2 bonus on attack rolls, initiative rolls, and perception check. That's yes, yes, and yes. That's great. As a bonus, you get Detect Thoughts just like the spell. So no more, I should say, memorizing that's the spell in your, I should say, Bard book in case you're leveling up. You get that for free now. This is in the Devil's Feet, 2nd floor, upstairs in Act 3. You gotta get past the door, then you steal it. Yeah, no one's around when you're up there. Now here's Alternative Birthright. This gives you +2 Charisma. Max is 22 Charisma. Now this build will go to 18 Charisma, so if you're really into Charisma, this is a good item to get it. Sold at the Sorcerer's Sundries by either Roland or someone else there in case he buys the farm in Act 2 or so. Or in Act 1, depending on your situation. Let's move on. Let's go over to cloaks. Flesh Melter Cloak. When the wearer gets hit, the attacker takes 1 to 4 acid damage. In a gilded chest in the House of Healing Morgue in Act 2. Yeah, raid at House of Healing Morgue, get this cloak, then equip it for your bard. Here's alternative. Cinder Moth Cloak. Attacker takes burning damage. That's 1 to 4 fire damage. Opposite of the other one. Elixirs in the Lower City Sewers in Act 3 drops this. You have to get into a fight with them. A lot of foes, but they all go boom boom. Now, honorable mention is the Cloak of Protection. That gives you +1 armor class and +1 saving throws. That's sold by Quartermaster Tally at the Last Light Inn in Act 2. Let's go over to chest pieces. Now, this is the number one you should definitely look for. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about Armor of Agility. This adds your dex modifier to your armor class. So, for example, if your dex modifier is 5, add 5 armor class to that. Additionally, this armor does not impose disadvantages on stealth check abilities as well. If I remember right, also, it does not mess with your dexterity. This gives you saving throws +2, sold by Glooming Fenton at the Storm Show Armory in Act 3. That's near the wall in the lower city. Now, alternative, I'm going to say the anti-scale mail from Act 1 is a good backup to use. So let's get to the next set of equipment. Legacy of the Masters, +2 attack and damage rolls when with weapons. Now that's very good. It's with any weapons range too. +1 strength save throws. Damien sells this in the Act 3 Lower City. Now he has a shop called Forge of the Nines or something like that. He is there as long as he's alive. In case you got him killed somehow, here's alternative. Helldust Gloves. You gain the following: +1 bonus to spell attack rolls and spell save DCs. Spell save DCs will focus more on that. Your weapon attack deals additional 1d fire damage. That's what we're going to do. Your armor attacks deals additional 1d6 necro damage and possibly inflict bleeding. So yeah, that's just for monks, but still this is good. +1 strength saving throws. And here's a bonus. Ray of Fire hurls 3 rays of fire. Each ray does 3d6 fire damage. Really powerful fire magic. Lock room in the House of Hope in Act 3. Now for necklaces, they're very similar to my melee builds, Paladin, Fire, Barbarian, etc. Amulet of Greater Health. Your Constitution is set to 23. That means more hit points. Advantage on Constitution saving throws as well. In the archives at the House of Hope in Act 3. While you're there, get the Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength as well. Here's a good alternative. Surgeon Subjugation Amulet. When scoring a critical hit on a humanoid, the wearer can paralyze the target for 2 rounds. Malice Storm drops this at the House of Healing in Act 2. Yeah, don't leave the House of Healing in Act 2 without this. You could either straight up fight him for it or talk him into killing himself. In this case, use Shadowheart. This way, it'll be very easy for him to off himself. Then you loot the amulet. On to the rings. Now, this is the same as my list for my paladins, fighters, and barbarians. However, here's a huge difference in that I put the risking ring first. Now, here's the reason why. The risking ring gives you advantages on attack rolls. Now, with sharpshooter, it's -5. That will negate that -5. And disadvantages on saving throws. That's the downside, but still, that's the primary ring you want. Araja also sells this in Act 2 at the Moonrise Tower. She's the one that gives you a strength potion if you let Asteron bite her. So go ahead and get the strength potion. Clean out her inventory of items that are actually really magical. Killer Sweetheart, when you kill a creature, your next attack rolls be a critical hit. That is really nice. You want to get this ring. Self-same trial and the Gauntlet Shard in Act 2. Now, in case you didn't get any of those, you like these other two better. Ring of Regeneration. At start of combat, you regenerate 1 to 4 hit points. Roland, or if he's not there, someone else will sell this in Act 3 at the Sorcerer's Sundries. Ring of Free Action. You ignore the effects of difficult terrain and cannot be paralyzed or restrained. Now, the NPC Strength Potion Lady, yeah, that nice drow, sells this as well in Act 2 at the Moonrise Towers. Play it cool there. You can get a whole bunch of good things there. Now, please note, we're only really using these main hand, offhand weapons just for the stats there. So let's talk about each of the ones. Crimson Mischief, the weapon deals additional 1d4 piercing damage against targets with 50% of their hit points or fewer. That's what we're going to use it for. This is a +2 weapon. Now, main hand only, when you deal an advantage attack, you deal +7 piercing damage. Offhand, when you deal with an offhand ability attack, you get an ability mod added to the damage, so dexterity would be added to that. Drop by orange to red in Act 3. Bloodthirst, this is a +2 weapon, dagger. The first one was a short sword, this is the dagger, offhanded if you want to or so. Number for a critical hit needed is reduced by 1, so you need to get a critical hit instead of 19 to 20, now it's 18 to 20. Main hand only, foe hits with this is weak to piercing damage, offhand. When a creature misses you, you cast True Strike. Now, I like the main hand one because you could just hit it, and after that, you can switch to your bow and arrows since you're using piercing damage for this, most likely. Reward for defeating orange to red. It's part of the main story. You'll get that. Now, here's some alternatives. Rhapsody, +1 dagger, gains +1 attack rolls and spell save DC. Maxed out on this is 3. Possibly inflict bleeding when hitting a creature with this weapon while hiding or invisible. So if you want to get those bonuses, you go for that. Castle Door drops this in Act 3. Now, Sword of Life Stealing, +2 short sword on a critical hit. Target takes an extra 1 to 10 necro damage. That's the green damage. As long as it's not undead or a construct. When you do life tap, you gain the maximum of 10 temporary hit points. Damien sells this in Act 2 at the Last Light Inn. If you miss him there, and of course he's alive, you might sell it in Act 3 as well. Now you're really here for, you guessed it, the hand crossbow, since that's what this build's all about. So let's go with it. Hellfire hand crossbow, best crossbow, I should say hand crossbow in game, +2 hand crossbow. That's the maximum hand crossbows, by the way. Possibly inflict burning when attacking while hiding or invisible. So if you're using greater invisibility to open up, then you go ahead and get that burning damage, which is 1 to 4 per round for 3 rounds most likely. Scorching Ray, just like the spell, 3 rays of fire, each does 3 to 12 damage. However, it's been boosted to level 3. Now, this recharges on short rest, by the way. Drop by Yogurt in the Gauntlet Shard in Act 2. That's the target that Raphael wants you to kill for Asteron's personal quest. Yeah, you want to kill him for it. Now, here's an offhand weapon, hand crossbow +2. Just like a normal hand crossbow +2. Inside a wall vault in the office on the 2nd floor of Lady Janet's estate in Act 3 in the lower city. Yeah, you're going to be definitely being there for that. Now, here's a backup. Near Misser. It's supposed to be Never Misser, but anyways, it's a +1 hand crossbow. Magic missile, just like the spell, however, it's been bumped up to level 3. This recharge is also short time. Sold by Rogue, Moonglow, and Moonrise Towers in Act 2. That is the little fellow there will sell you that. Clean out the inventory of that, just trust me on that end. That's about it for end game gear. So next up are potions, elixirs, and oils. I'm going to go ahead and list some suggested potions, elixirs, and oils. Yes, we're going to definitely use oils for our ranged weapons. So let's start with the potions. Here's the potions, and first of all, healing potions of all types are a must. So you run out of spell slots or one of the healers do, Guess what? You got backup. Potion of Haste, gain an extra action. That's really good. Plus 2 AC, nice. Advantage on dex saving throws. You already have high dex, add to it. And double movement speed. That's wonderful because you're going to need that mobility. Potion of Flying, same as the fly spell. This way you can get somewhere high and start shooting like crazy. Potion of Visibility, it's like the visibility spell on yourself, so if you do any other action besides move, you'll break invisibility. This is a great setup spell, especially if you have the Hellfire hand crossbow. So let's go to Elixirs. Now remember, Elixirs are one per character. In other words, if you use one, the previous one goes away. Elixir of Vigilance gains plus 5 bonus initiative. That's really good and cannot be surprised. That's another bonus. It's just like alertness, the feat. Elixir of Viciousness, increase your chance to land a critical hit. In other words, you'll drop the dice score by 1. And there's a few items that actually will stack with this. So for example, you have to roll 19 and 20 for critical hits. Now it's just 18 to 20. Elixir of Bloodlust. This is the one I use the most for this build. Upon killing your foe, you get 5 extra hit points. They're temporary, but it's good. And an extra bonus action. That's an extra action. You use your offhand weapon or do another attack. Oil Accuracy. This is a coat weapon. In case coat, I should say definitely hand crossbow. You gain a bonus of plus 2 in attack rolls. That's really nice to offset the -5 on that. You still have -3, but it's still good. Wizardbane Oil. Its target receives a -3 penalty to spell attack rolls and spell save DC. And they have a disadvantage on saving throws for maintaining concentration for 2 rounds. You know, like someone doing chain lightning, well, coat your weapon with this and shoot them with that. They get hit, most likely they'll break concentration on chain lightning. Use any of all poison types on your weapon, especially the greatest ones against bosses and tough foes. That's about it for potions, elixirs, and oils. So here's the deal. When you do start out, you're on the hunt for hand crossbows. Once you do find them, then start practicing on slashing flourish. So this way you get the idea on how to attack 2 targets at once. So let's see, go ahead and do that. Yeah, we're going to start wiping foes out like crazy on that. Just be careful on your, I should say, bardic inspiration. You don't want to spend too many on yard trash foes. Still, if they're really tough, then go ahead and use the slashing flourish. If you need to start learning your basic crowd control, at the start you get hold person, take advantage of that. Hold person, then of course go ahead and use your slashing flourish or anything else of the matter. We clear out most of the mobs. Our party members should finish the rest off. Let's talk about Act 2 and some bosses. Now in Act 2, if it's single target, just won't use any slashing flourish at all. Instead, just use your normal attack. So if there's bosses with henchmen, or especially certain bosses, they're linked to the boss's strengths. If you destroy it, they're weakened. Go ahead and do that. Like for example, these floating skulls against our favorite greedy boss. Yeah, see, we already dropped the bosses. I think there's protection, or say gold of protection, which is great. At this point, you start to balance between using your bardic inspirations and of course another thing is your spells. If you need a short rest, you still have that one bard ability one that gives you, that's like a short rest, which is good. Later on, all your bardic inspirations does get healed like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get some final advice before I do end the video guide. When you first start out, you're weaker on the hunt for hand crossbows. Once you even get the 2 non-magical ones, the basic ones, then start building up your hand crossbow collection. Definitely take advantage of using slashing flourish to A, either clear tons of foes, or B, clear out some tough foes. So this way, you'll even the playing field for the rest of you and your party. If you need to do bardic inspiration, definitely use it on your melee characters or anybody else that does need it. If you need to heal, yeah, go ahead and do so. Another thing is make sure you get certain items with Misty Step, so this way, things get into trouble, you go on the high ground. Another advice I would definitely give people is, the hold spells, even though it's concentration, they're really good, especially hold monsters. There's a certain encounter, in fact, in a game that you need hold monster. This build has it. Other than that, you'll be shooting so many crossbow bolts per round thanks to the slashing flourish. Just remember when to use it and when to hold back on it. And definitely make sure your party members help you out on the damage as well. The hand crossbow is very powerful. It's very competitive towards endgame with a long bow. This is it for my Baldur's Gate 3 Pure Bard College of Swords hand crossbow build video. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Thanks for watching and have a great day or night, and do please stay safe. Please subscribe to my channel for more classic and modern Dungeons & Dragons walkthroughs, builds, guides, and more just like this. If you like what you see, then go ahead and pick my suggestion on the upper left-hand corner or YouTube suggestion on the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to go ahead and relax in this nice chair.